Judd Zolgad, Derek Wetmore, 1500ESPN.com. Thanks for coming. Derek, for the first time in a long time, there's really nothing Vikings related to talk about, but that does not mean the National Football League doesn't give us plenty to mull, chew, and discuss. No. Let's start off with this one. We find out today, now this is no surprise because the Vikings already said this was coming. Mm-hmm. The Vikings, we know, are a finalist for the 2018 Super Bowl. New Orleans, Indianapolis, Minneapolis. Right. Today, Mark Dayton, the governor, at 11 a.m. got up there on Monday and said, we're in on the bid. It can bring this much, economic growth to us. When I got in my car today, I think it was a minus 17 degrees. You tell me this. People are worried about a Super Bowl in New York, New Jersey that might be played, or that's going to be played outside and might be cold. But what's your point about this week? What's your entire point, which has nothing to do with the game, by the way?
Yeah, I just posted a story on 1500ESPN.com. They are among the three finalists, and someone astutely pointed out that Indianapolis also gets cold, but my contention is it doesn't matter how good the stadium is, how good the game is for a ratings perspective. The party that lasts an entire week leading up to the game, that's what's going to be important to see. And I'm curious to see how New Jersey does. The game in East Rutherford on this upcoming Sunday, so 6 days from now. Mm-hmm. How good is this week of festivities leading up to it going to be? Because I think that's the critical factor that they're looking at for Minneapolis.
But in that case, they're in New York City. See,
sure.
I contend, if you look at the itinerary of this week, right, I would say the only thing you're going to see in New Jersey is the football game.
Yeah, maybe.
My feeling is this. If we've really entered the age of the polar vortex where we're talking about once every couple of weeks we could be hit with minus 20, minus 25, minus 17.
Did your car start this morning, by the way?
The Saturn did start this morning.
Perfect.
Nonetheless, if I'm the NFL, you know what? It's cute that people are going to sit outside on Sunday. It's going to be 30 degrees. It might mist a little bit.
Well, and if it snows, it's great TV.
Yeah, but people can say, I was at that cold Super Bowl, but it's going to be around 30 or 25 degrees. Do you really want to bring people here? We can talk all we want about the Skyways, the game being played indoors, but people still have to get off an airplane in Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport and go to their hotels, not all of which are downtown. There comes a point in time where if you're the league, don't you look at temperatures and don't you say, we still might have to give you the game, but this could be a colossal disaster.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
The rich people aren't going to like this.
I love Minneapolis. I love living here. I've lived the Bloomington, Minneapolis area for most of my life. Love it. But even I will admit that Minneapolis does not put its best foot forward in February.
No.
Minneapolis' best foot is put forward in July or in June when you can be out on the lake. And that's why it's great that the Twins are having the All-Star game at Target Field. I think that's just fine.
Yes.
So I'm not knocking Minneapolis as a host city generally, but given the time of year, you can't wake up, walk out the door. I'm wearing a flannel today under the sweater.
I have
still had
18
to have a
shirts
game.
on.
Need to do it because it's just bone-chillingly cold, and that's not Minneapolis' best foot. I don't think it's good to host a party.
And if your contention is that this is the future, basically, we're going to be hit with temperatures more and more, and I have no idea. But my point is, if you think we're going to be hit with winters more and more like this, then I don't see how in good conscience you put your marquee event here.
Right.
And we can talk all we want about Skyways, and I believe that when the new stadium is built, the Skyway will go all the way through downtown to the stadium, but people still have to go outside, and nobody in this weather is going to want to go anywhere near outside. Nonetheless, I'm guessing, because they built the stadium, they'll probably get the game.
I think they'll get the game too, but I don't think they should because it's the parties, it's the tourist attractions, it's driving to the Mall of America from the airport, all of these things that you'd want to do in and around the Minneapolis area that just frankly aren't comfortable to do in February. It's not a fun place to vacation. People leave in February so they can escape the cold, but they don't want to enter the cold. I don't think it should work the other way.
Right. But the league basically has come to everybody that builds a new stadium and
hey,
says,
you got a
we'll
stadium,
give you a Super Bowl.
Here's your reward. Absolutely.
But I do think if we get a Super Bowl in 2018 and we're hit with weather like we have this week, it will go down as far bigger disaster than anything that happens in New York. Because at the end of the day, they're in New York. The temperatures aren't this cold. So I don't care how miserable the game experience is, because let's be honest, the rich people can go to suites. They can go to lots of places. By the time the rich people get into the Viking Stadium to go to the game, they will be miserable. And last thought, 2018, the Super Bowl is going to be outdoors in New Jersey on Sunday, 2014.
Right.
Do you think they get the 2018 game, or do you think the league says, thanks for bidding, we're going to give you one, but it's too close to the outdoor game in New York, New Jersey. We'll give you one, but it's not going to be till next time around.
It's too soon
What's
to
your guess?
tell because I would want to see how it plays this week in cold weather. But if I had to guess right now, based on the information I have, I would assume that it's going to go to New Orleans or warm weather. It's the only of the three finalists. That's a warm weather.
Indianapolis isn't a bad place, but it's not warm weather.
Yeah, so I think it's going to go to New Orleans, and then the Vikings eventually will land a bid because of their new stadium. But the weather just complicates it way too much, and I don't think they're going to get it on their first try.
He's Derek. I'm Judd. Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com.